Today's direct update is very important for millions of seniors across the United States. There has been growing concern and confusion about March 2026 Social Security payments, with many people hearing the alarming message that they will not receive a March 2026 check. This statement has created fear, especially among retirees who depend on their monthly benefits to pay for housing, food, medication, and everyday expenses. In this video, everything will be explained clearly and calmly so that seniors understand what is actually happening, why some people may not see a payment in March, and what steps can be taken to avoid financial stress. This is not about panic. It is about understanding how the Social Security payment schedule works, how calendar changes affect deposit dates, and how certain eligibility or administrative situations may impact specific individuals. First, it is important to understand how Social Security retirement, SSI, SSDI, and other federal benefit payments are normally scheduled. Most retirees receiving Social Security retirement benefits are paid based on their birth date. Those born between the 1st and the 10th of the month usually receive payment on the 2nd Wednesday. Those born between the 11th and the 20th are paid on the 3rd Wednesday. Those born between the 21st and the 31st are paid on the 4th Wednesday. Supplemental Security Income, often known as SSI, is typically paid on the first day of the month. If the first day falls on a weekend or federal holiday, the payment is issued on the previous business day. This scheduling system has been in place for many years and generally works smoothly, but it can create confusion when calendar shifts occur. The March 2026 concern largely centers around how the calendar falls and how payment adjustments may affect what seniors see in their bank accounts. In some years, when the first of a month falls on a weekend or holiday, SSI recipients may receive their payment early, sometimes at the end of the previous month. When this happens, it can appear as if a month has been skipped, even though the payment was simply moved forward. For example, if March 1 falls on a Sunday, SSI payments would typically be deposited on the last business day of February. In that situation, recipients would receive 2 payments in February and none in March, but the total yearly amount would remain the same. This does not mean a payment was lost. It means the timing shifted. This type of calendar adjustment can lead to serious confusion. Seniors may look at their bank statements in March and see no deposit and believe that their benefits have been stopped. In reality, the March payment may have already been issued at the end of February. This situation has occurred in previous years, and each time it causes anxiety because the deposit pattern looks unusual. The key thing to remember is that Social Security does not eliminate a month of payment without official notice and legal authority. A missing March deposit in that case would be a timing issue, not a cancellation. Another situation that can affect whether someone receives a March 2026 check involves eligibility changes. Social Security and SSI benefits are subject to certain rules. If there has been a change in income, living arrangements, marital status, or work activity, benefits can be adjusted. For SSI recipients in particular, income and resource limits are strict. If income rises above the threshold or if countable resources exceed the allowable amount, payments can be reduced or suspended. In those cases, a person might not receive a payment for a specific month. However, this would not happen without prior notification. Official letters are sent explaining the change, the reason for it, and appeal rights. Administrative reviews can also impact payments. Periodic eligibility reviews are conducted to confirm that recipients still meet program requirements. If required documents are not submitted or if information cannot be verified, payments may be temporarily placed on hold. This is another reason some individuals might not see a March 2026 deposit. Again, this would be tied to individual circumstances rather than a nationwide cancellation. There are also situations involving overpayments. If a beneficiary has previously been overpaid due to reporting errors or administrative corrections, the agency may withhold part or all of a monthly benefit to recover that overpayment. In certain cases, especially with SSI, the full monthly payment could be withheld if recovery terms require it. This can create the impression that a payment has disappeared, but it is actually part of a recovery process that was previously communicated. It is equally important to address rumors about stimulus payments and special bonus checks. Over the past several years, there have been temporary stimulus programs and cost of living adjustments. Cost of living adjustments, commonly called COLA increases, are applied annually based on inflation data. These adjustments change the monthly payment amount but do not typically affect the timing of deposits. There is no automatic cancellation of a regularly scheduled monthly benefit due to a COLA update. If March 2026 includes an adjusted amount because of inflation indexing, seniors would still receive their payment based on the normal schedule. Financial stress can increase quickly when people believe a check is missing. Seniors living on fixed incomes plan their budgets carefully. Rent or mortgage payments, utility bills, prescription medications, groceries, and insurance premiums are often scheduled around benefit deposit dates. When rumors spread about missing payments, fear spreads just as quickly. That is why understanding the calendar structure is critical. In most widespread cases where a March payment appears absent, the explanation is almost always an early February deposit due to the 1st of March falling on a weekend. Direct deposit timing can also vary slightly depending on banking institutions. Some banks release funds immediately when received, while others may process deposits overnight. A payment issued by the federal system on a Wednesday may not appear until later that day or the following morning depending on the financial institution's processing schedule. This does not mean the payment was not issued. It simply reflects internal bank timing. Seniors who receive paper checks rather than direct deposit may also experience slight delivery delays due to mail processing times. While most beneficiaries now use electronic deposit, a smaller percentage still receive physical checks. Mail delivery schedules can shift due to weather conditions, postal backlogs, or holiday closures. A check that arrives a few days late does not indicate cancellation, though it understandably creates concern. There is also the matter of dual beneficiaries. Some individuals receive both SSI and Social Security Retirement or SSDI benefits. In these situations, the payment schedule can look more complicated. SSI may be paid on one date and retirement benefits on another. If the SSI portion is moved to the end of February due to calendar adjustments, the March schedule may appear uneven. Understanding which payment belongs to which program is important for clarity. For 2026 specifically, projections indicate that certain months may have shifted deposit patterns depending on how weekends align. When this happens, official payment calendars are published in advance so beneficiaries can plan accordingly. These calendars outline the exact Wednesday payment dates for each birth date group as well as the adjusted SSI deposit dates when necessary. Reviewing those dates carefully removes confusion about so-called missing checks. Another factor to consider involves newly approved beneficiaries. Individuals who are newly eligible for retirement benefits or disability payments sometimes assume that approval means immediate payment. However, processing timelines can vary. Back payments may be issued in lump sums, while regular monthly payments begin on the standard cycle. If someone expects a March 2026 payment but their start date is technically April 2026 based on approval timing, they would not see a March check. This situation is individual and based on application processing timelines rather than a national payment cancellation. Budget planning becomes even more important in months where deposits are shifted earlier. When two payments arrive in February due to the March 1st falling on a weekend, recipients must remember that the second February deposit is meant for March expenses. Spending both February deposits immediately can create financial strain in March when no deposit appears. Understanding this timing difference helps avoid unnecessary hardship. Cost of living adjustments for 2026 are expected to reflect inflation trends measured in the previous year. These adjustments raise monthly benefit amounts to help seniors maintain purchasing power. While the percentage increase varies each year, the adjustment does not remove a month of payment. It only changes the amount deposited. Therefore, rumors linking COLA changes to missing March payments are inaccurate. For those who depend heavily on Social Security income, maintaining updated contact information with the agency is essential. Address changes, banking updates, and name changes must be reported promptly to prevent deposit errors. A direct deposit sent to a closed bank account can result in returned funds and temporary payment delays. In those situations, benefits are not canceled but must be reissued once account information is corrected. Fraud awareness is also critical during periods of payment confusion. Scammers often take advantage of rumors about missing checks. They may call seniors claiming that payments were suspended and request personal information to reactivate benefits. Official agencies do not demand sensitive data over unsolicited calls. Protecting Social Security numbers and banking details is extremely important, especially when anxiety is high. For married couples receiving spousal benefits, coordination between primary and auxiliary payments may also look unusual when calendar shifts occur. Each benefit follows the birth date of the primary beneficiary, and understanding this connection helps avoid confusion about deposit timing. Retirees who work part-time should also be aware of earnings limits if they are below full retirement age. Exceeding annual earnings thresholds can temporarily reduce benefits. This reduction could affect specific months depending on income reporting. However, this is based on income rules rather than a universal March cancellation. The overall message is clear. A statement that seniors will not receive a March 2026 payment does not mean that Social Security has eliminated benefits for that month nationwide. In most scenarios, the explanation is tied to calendar adjustments moving the SSI deposit into late February. In other individual cases, payment changes are related to eligibility reviews, income adjustments, overpayment recovery, or administrative corrections. None of these situations represent a general shutdown of monthly benefits. Understanding how the system works brings peace of mind. Social Security has been operating for decades with structured payment cycles. While administrative changes and calendar shifts can create temporary confusion, the system does not randomly skip a month without formal legislative action and public notice. Seniors who carefully review deposit dates and official notices can avoid unnecessary fear.